Hello, a very good evening and a warm welcome into Highmark Stadium in Pittsburgh. Alongside Ricky Lopez, Espin, I'm Dre Cordero. Thrilled to have you with us as the Riverhounds host Indy 11 in an Eastern Conference six-pointer with major playoff implications. It is week 32 in the USL Championship. 9 points still up for grabs in the regular season, and both sides in contention heading into this crucial six-point match. New City, Charleston, Loudoun United, and North Carolina have all clinched. Pittsburgh in sixth, 5 points clear of Indy 11, and the math is simple for the Hounds. 3 points tonight, and they are in.
What we've seen from the Pittsburgh Riverhounds over the course of 2025, they continue to get better. They continue to understand who they want to be and their identity on and off the ball. Off the ball, really difficult to break through, and on the ball, they got a little bit more ruthless and more clinical in that final third. They have attacking talent. They have a lot of weapons. Big opportunity here at home in front of their home faithful to clinch a 2025 playoff position.
Speaking of attacking talent, Augie Williams is our player to watch, presented by Modelo.
Augie Williams is just a nightmare to defend, that it can do a little bit of everything, whether it is dropping in and being part of the build-up phase, but his movement to play off the blind side of his individual marker, and he is a ruthless finisher. Here at home, service into Augie Williams will be top priority for the Riverhounds.
Meanwhile, Indy 11 playing double dutch on the playoff line. Back-to-back wins over Birmingham and Tulsa had them in. Last week's loss to New City dropped them out. But tonight, a win with a little help from Tampa Bay against Rhode Island would put Indy right back into the top 8, heading into the final 2 games against Loudoun and Orange County SC, who are also on the bubble.
For Sean McCauley, it's all about consistency for this Indy 11 side. They do have talent, but you need that talent to turn into results, because you look at every single player on this roster, including a player like Aiden Quinn, they're game changers. Aiden Quinn just has the ability to understand when to push high from his deep line position, can score goals, can create for himself. He needs to be the best player on the field if Indy 11 wants to come into Pittsburgh and take all the points.
Quinn with a team-high 9 assists on the season, one of which set up Blake for the winner the last time these two teams played, 1-0 back in June. Well, moments from kickoff at Highmark, the Hounds within striking distance of a playoff spot, Indy 11 fighting for their postseason lives, and it all gets underway next. We'll have your starting lineups and kickoff right after this.
Ain't no better feeling than a cold one in my hand. Well, that's why I'll be keeping Iron City in my plans. Oh, everywhere I roam, I'll be thinking about my home. Sitting pouring on the iron right before I go to rest. And when I'm laying in my bed, there's only one thing in my head. Just an ice cold can of Pittsburgh, PA's best.
The build. What is it that drives us to follow our dreams, to build them from scratch, from the heart? For us, it's the same ideals of hard work, craftsmanship, and unity that define our great nation. It begins with trusting in yourself and having a team behind you that believes any dream is possible, and that every project is a vision of what can be, of who you are, and the future that you continue to build. From our family to yours, 84 Lumber, where quality and pride come together, one dream at a time.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you can turn that $200 into something bigger when you bet on money line, spread, totals, player props.
$200 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on.
Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Welcome back to Highmark with half the Eastern Conference playoff berths spoken for. The Hounds hoping to punch their ticket tonight. Root for victory. I see light starting lineups. Pittsburgh with 2 changes from the loss in Miami. Eric Dick returns in goal, replacing Jacob Randolph, and Robbie Mertz slots in for Jackerson in attacking mid.
Robbie Mertz, and all the understanding to play in between lines, but also just to be expansive and running and expanding really that Indy 11 side. You look at Danny Griffin and Bradley Sample, look for them to dictate tempo, slow the game down, and doing that will allow Junior Etsu and Luke Biasi to be expansive and provide the width. First 10 to 15 minutes going to be really important for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds to get in a rhythm and get confident.
Meanwhile, for Indy 11, just 1 change from the Lipa FC loss to Lou City. Hunter Solt is now fully back. He takes over from Luke Pruder in goal.
Hunter Solt is a massive addition to this Indy 11 side, the ability to command his 6-yard box, a true leader in terms of organizing that back four in front of him. But for Sean McCauley, it all comes down to that center forward. Jack Blake's going to have their freedom to go and search the game. James Murphy will be that single pivot. Cam Lindley and Aiden Quinn, they're working on and off the ball, supplying Augie Williams and Rendon higher up the field.
It is the 2nd meeting of the season between the Hounds and Indy 11. Jack Blake decided to first a 1-0 victory. Indy 11 in the red for tonight's contest. Just on the wrong side of the playoff line. But a win and some help from Tampa Bay could see them right back into the top 8. Mohamed Kalea is the head official, has the cards and the whistle. Jeremy Smith and Douglas Clayton will run the lines. Trevor Haddock is the 4th official. For Mario Williams, he and Bruno Rendon have been the preferred strike partnership for Sean McCauley. And the ball rolls at high mark. An Eastern Conference 6-pointer, major playoff implications on the line as the Riverhounds take on Indy 11. It's week 32 in the USL Championship. And a quick foul goes the way of the Hounds. We'll have a free kick from their own half. An uncharacteristic 3-1 loss at Miami last week for Pittsburgh, conceding 3 goals in the second half after taking the lead. Today without their head coach on the touchline. In fact, it's Rob Vincent, the assistant, who steps in.
Need a reaction if you are the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Obviously not the result that you would want going to a struggling Miami FC side. So for Rob Vincent, the first 10 to 15 minutes, like we mentioned in the open, extremely important just to connect the lines and get in a rhythm for the Riverhounds.
Here's Aiden Quinn. Headed forward looking for Romario Williams. Williams with his back to goal in traffic. Blake pulling the strings. It's Quinn now. Flipped into the 18 for Rendon in a battle with Guillaume Vector. With a slack pass there from Brian Schaefer, but dealt with well by James Murphy. Strong challenge from Musa. Biasi on the near side. 3 across the back for Riverhounds with Idrach, Super, and Vactor making up that 3 center back lineup. 4 across the middle, Biasi, Griffin, Sample, and Etu, Al, and Mertz. The return of Robbie Mertz, having missed last week's match in support of Augie Williams up top. It's Williams who chases this one down and runs out of real estate. Here are tonight's 84 Lumber building to win.
For Pittsburgh, you have to dominate wide channels and get really good service in for the Riverhounds, especially with Luke Biasi and Junior Etsu, the players that can get into that final third. And for Indy, need to be very clean. Once you do get into that final third, for Sean McCauley's side that has struggled in this season to score goals, you need that talent to continue to produce production in the final third.
And direct approach this time, looking for Augie Williams up top. Routed back by Musa. And our first sight of the returning young goalkeeper, Hunter Solt. Missed the last 4 games with a concussion. Luke Pruder, who was brought in on loan to provide depth. He was called on to start for 4 consecutive games. No question, Solt is the starter for this team, and Pruder knew he was coming in to add a bit of depth.
Hunter Solt, you get not only a leader, but the ability to command his 6-yard box and to be that vocal presence behind that back line for Sean McCauley, so look for him to organize Ofemu and Schaefer, the two center backs for Indy 11 here in this hostile environment.
On the other side, the Hounds also welcoming back their starting goalkeeper. Randolph was deputizing a week ago, but no question this is Eric Dick's role between the sticks. Here is tonight's injury report presented by On, the official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. O'Toole's been absent for much of the season. Barnes also out of the lineup once again.
Seeing 4 minutes in how aggressive Indy 11 is starting this game within their high press. So for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Rob Vincent, you need to be really clean when playing within your back set, understanding that if you bypass that initial line, the whole game will start to open up.
Sent away by Idach. It's Lindley in a battle. It's pulled down from behind, and this will be an Indy 11 free kick. It's a talented midfield that Sean McCauley has to work with. The likes of Jack Blake, Aiden Quinn, very much a known commodity in this league. Cam Lindley's been one of the players to show the most improvement on the course of the season, according to Sean McCauley.
Wasn't getting the opportunity that he would have hoped for, Cam Lindley, especially early in the season, but just as Aiden Quinn has pushed out to a little bit more of a wide role, now he's really made himself at home centrally.
Delivered by Murphy. Knocked down, it's Blake. And just off target from the danger man. 10 goals on this season, including that game winner in the reverse.
Jack Blake just has a really good feeling of where to be at the right place at the right time, and we've seen him score some fantastic goals from this area of the field. Danny Griffin doing just enough to throw off Jack Blake, but good action for Indy 11 in starting this game.
There were only 3 playoff spots locked up coming into the weekend in the Eastern Conference. It's now 4, with Loudoun United getting a stoppage time game winner to punch their ticket. That means half the berths are spoken for. And Pittsburgh hoping to add their name to the list tonight. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. It's knocked down for Blake. Lovely touch, but he gets clipped by Vactor, and this is a more promising spot for a set-piece opportunity for Indy 11.
Just the movement of Jack Blake, understanding as they play direct, now second balls become that much more influential as he plays off the shoulder sample. Now you afford Idresh to step off of his line. Clever from Blake. If he feels any sort of contact, he goes down to win a really dangerous set piece for Indy.
Ninth in the East, Indy 11. Again, they've been hopping in and out of that 8th place. Not in control of their own destiny, but 3 points tonight would be massive for their playoff hopes. The left of Aiden Quinn, the right of Romario Williams. Quinn, who's gone for goal, gets it to dip into the waiting hands of Eric Dick.
Good positioning from Eric Dick. As he comes up a little bit awkward, favoring that left leg, it seems like, as Aiden Quinn tries to go up and over the wall. Really difficult technique. You need to hit it with enough pace and enough power to bend it away from the goalkeeper, but Eric Dick easily saves his ball.
For a Pittsburgh team that doesn't exactly light up the scoreboard, 27 goals on this season, Eric Dick is absolutely massive to picking up points in threes. Set the single season clean sheet record for them a season ago. 14 shutouts in the previous campaign. And a big part of the reason why, once again, the Riverhounds are one step away from making it to an 8th consecutive postseason.
Defensively is the foundation for this Pittsburgh Riverhounds side with Eric Dick, that back 3 in front of him. Every single player understands their role within the system. Just so difficult to break through.
And Two out wide. Griffin. Frenetic pressure from Indy 11. The opening 10 minutes of this game, making every touch a difficult one for the Hounds. Short on options, Guillaume Vactor. Augie Williams with his back to goal, goes to ground, and nothing in it. Goal kick for Solt. The USL on the CBS Sports Network closes out October with a championship Western Conference showdown. Playoff-bound New Mexico United take on Oakland Roots Sunday, October 19th at 5 p.m. Eastern on the CBS Sports Network. Famo scrambles back. Pittsburgh very much trying to funnel balls into Augie Williams. And why would they not be? 84 USL Championship goals, the most of any active player in the league.
Unable to get in any sort of rhythm, the Riverhounds, especially through all-in Robbie Mertz. Robbie Mertz only 6 touches through the first 10 minutes. A good opportunity here. Desired location is right between that 6-yard box and penalty mark to cause some issues right in front of Solt.
Came into the match with 9,999 minutes played at Robbie Mertz. Now the 6th player to reach 10,000 for Pittsburgh. Lighted in, it's flicked on, back post. And no one there to meet it for the Hounds. All 6'7" of Hunter Solt stretching to try and reach that.
Great run from Charles Olo as he slashes across his individual mark and does everything right, just tries to help it on. That is when you need a secondary movement for the Riverhounds, crashing towards that far post, nearly the opener for the Riverhounds.
Corner kick brought to you by Cohen Markets. Knocked down by Rendon.
Talked about the insertion of Robbie Mertz. It gives you that type of quality on every set piece in the final third.
Rendon putting in a defensive shift as he helps Indy 11 win it back. Williams isolated up top. Rendon knocking it down for Blake. Had just crossed the line. Referee's assistant in a good spot to see it. One of the more unique, really aesthetic sights in all of American soccer, the Mon River in the backdrop. Even with the expansion plans, no plans to touch that view.
What we've seen with the Riverhounds do a fantastic job at just creating high marks, stadium a fortress throughout this season. 7 wins here, 3 losses, 3 draws, continuing to protect their home field.
Promising approach this time, clipped up for Augie Williams. And with his back to goal, his shot is by All. I believe it's Schaefer that took the brunt of it, and he's gonna need a moment. Point blank.
It's well done by Augie Williams in terms of his hold-up play, allowing Charles Alt to come underneath him. But as his ball pops up, unfortunate for Schaefer. Good refereeing from Mohamed Kalea just to stop play immediately. Top priority is the health of these players for a potential head injury.
And Solt in goal, coming back from concussion that kept him out for 4 games. He was on the bench last week and close to ready to play, but McCauley opting to keep Pruder in goal. Didn't want to change until he had to. Said training this week showed Solt was back to 100%. Ryan Schaefer seems to be all right as well. Nice impact he's made as well on loan from Cincinnati. Schaefer arrived back on September 3rd, made his debut the same day, and he's been a permanent fixture in that back four since. Kalea will resume play via drop ball. That's a good view of Rob Vincent, who's in his 11th season now with the Hounds, his second as an assistant coach. Played here, he signed for Pittsburgh back in 2013, the same year that Highmark opened up. That's no way forward, trying to force the issue. Solt gets it away. It's whipped in. Famu there to meet it inside of the 18. Loose by Lindley, now Aiden Quinn.
Just need a little bit more quality there from Aiden Quinn. That first pass forward for Murphy unlocks that whole attacking phase for Indy 11. Aiden Quinn just trying to bend this ball around into Romario Williams. Just need a little bit more quality from the experience of Aiden Quinn.
It's Luke Biasi to put it back in play. Make that better, Idrac. Getting it forward, Augie Williams. Well, he's not given much room to breathe, is he? Quickly double-teamed every chance.
Whether it is Murphy or Famu or Schaefer doing a really good job at just doubling down Augie Williams, that is when you need a secondary movement of Robbie Mertz or Charles All just to come underneath him and be that pocket presence for the Riverhounds.
It's headed away by Musa. Starting to win more of those loose balls now, though, quarter of an hour in. Pittsburgh more in the game.
A little bit more aggressive in terms of their positioning. The three center backs sitting around that halfway mark, just keeping this game in their attacking third.
Idrac under pressure, a little too much pressure from Jack Blake. It's whistled for the foul. Imagine how good they've been at home, not just this season, every season at Highmark, but characteristically two of the last 3 home games resulting in losses against Charleston and Lou City. Those are the 2 top teams in the Eastern Conference. The only other defeat on home soil against one of the other top teams in the conference, North Carolina. The USL on the CBS Sports Network closes out September with a championship Western Conference showdown of teams in the thick of the playoff hunt. New Mexico United taking on Lexington SC in a battle for invaluable points on Sunday, September 28th at 6 p.m. Eastern on the CBS Sports Network. And Williams giving chase, but again stranded up top. To clean his pass from Schaefer, but he got there for Quinn. And it's Biasi who's using his body well. Quickly back into space for Augie Williams.
Just no real help centrally for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. As you play this ball into Augie Williams, you need a support player underneath him that he can just bump this ball into.
Long ball intended for Williams once more. Etu. Clash of legs as Schaefer came a long way out of the back line to apply the pressure, and he'll be whistled for the foul as he brings down Junior Etu.
And it's the first time that we've seen Augie Williams' ability just to drop the ball in. Now you afford Schaefer to step off of his line, and he's late. He catches Junior Etu as he's quicker just to shift this ball into the interior. As a center back, you never want to get pulled into that middle third and ultimately picking up the first yellow of this game.
Second yellow of the campaign for Brian Schaefer. Some concern here for Junior Etu, who's shaken up.
Junior Etu is a player that Sean McCauley mentioned in our conversation with him earlier this week, just the amount of quality that he possesses in that final third, the work rate to work up and down, create overloads. He's been a massive player for the Riverhounds in terms of their success on and off the ball.
That far side is going to be interesting to watch with the work rate of both Etu and Bruno Rendon, who is a striker, lines up in front, but he covers a lot of ground.
We've seen Rendon play in numerous positions for Sean McCauley. Whether it is at the right wing back, playing right next to Romario Williams to start this game. Just like you mentioned, Dre, the ability to cover every single blade of grass.
So Robbie Mertz to deliver. He's catapulted in, back post. Dangerous ball in. And that'll lead to a corner kick for Pittsburgh. Sean Subert usually getting his head on it in the other 18. This time trying to redirect goal bound. He wins a corner kick.
It's a really good positioning from James Musa just to drop off and beat Subert to the spot. Good opportunity here for Robbie Mertz.
Corner kick brought to you by Cohen Markets. Outswinger, back post. Augie Williams won't challenge for it. That leads to a throw for the Hounds. Sean Subert, by the way, the only Hounds player to play every single minute in the USL Championship this season. He's getting a breather here or there in cup play. As far as in the league, no rest for the veteran center back.
That's exactly what you want from your center back as well. Consistency from day one into postseason play for the Riverhounds.
Mertz, good combination with it too. And the offside flag comes up. Hey, Riverhounds fans, join us for our next home game on Saturday, October 25th against Phoenix Rising for Fan Appreciation Night. Get your tickets today at riverhounds.com. Phoenix putting on a show yesterday against North Carolina FC.
Needed that result for Pamadou as well. And that was up and down in terms of their performances, their consistency with their results. Big time win at North Carolina.
We talked about how close the playoff race is in the Eastern Conference. Out in the West, Phoenix, as much pressure from behind them as the pressure they're applying on the top four.
As a neutral, it's what you want. Just tells you about the parity in USL Championship, that every single team can beat anyone on any given day, especially once the playoffs are around the corner. Every decision, every position, every little minute detail can be the difference of continuing on into the postseason or going home early.
I can play through it too. Augie Williams a long way away from goal to get involved. That's giving away the dangerous man Rendon with space to roam. Blake to the inside, Williams as well. There's Jack Blake as Quinn continues his run. Quinn on his right, uses his left, and it's just tipped wide by Eric Dick.
Good transitional moment for Indy 11. Bruno Rendon picks up his head and notice the amount of attention that he requires. So that allows Jack Blake to stay century, and so unselfish from Jack Blake to understand Aiden Quinn is arriving late, put the ball on a platter, just let him run onto it and hit it first time as Biasi's coming across. The slightest of contact as it goes out for a corner kick.
Quinn again. With the near post. Dealt with by Williams. Flip into the 18. It's intended for Rendon and plucked out of the air by Eric Dick. Rising to gathering. Doesn't seem to be suffering any ill effects from that earlier injury concern. Prior to that possession, the Hounds had seemingly wrestled back control of this match after a strong Indy start.
Need to be very careful in terms of finding the balance for the Riverhounds. Yes, you want to be expansive when you're in possession, but if you turn the ball over cheaply, this Indy 11 side can hurt you in transitional moments.
Possession reset all the way back. Flooded forward for Augie Williams. And again, the offside flag is up.
Having a difficult time, Augie Williams, within his positioning. Whether he's facing and getting in front of this back four for Indy 11 or also just running in behind and testing the shape, unable to get him in a rhythm. That is a big talking point for the Riverhounds.
playing one of his former clubs today. Signed from Indy 11 back in start of the year. 10 goals in 31 games for Indy. Monty Williams. Looking for Williams. That time Schaefer was there to meet it. Musa scrambling back to avoid the corner. Still a throw deep in Indy territory for the Hounds. Maybe cross in, took a little deflection. Not the most convincing header from Schaefer. Here's all. Mertz spotted the run of Junior Etu. Edge of the 18, trying to square that ball in, and Ofemu were reaching out to redirect corner.
Just so smart from Robbie Mertz, understanding as Zielinski's dropping in and being compact. Now the passing lane is wide. As Junior Etu takes that second touch out of his body, you need someone slashing across that near post. Just in between Ofemu and Schaefer, just to cause a little bit of chaos, but good action going forward for the Riverhounds.
Here's our corner kick brought to you by Cohen Markets. Robbie Mertz calibrates. It's played short this time for Griffin. Mertz. Squared in toward the spot. And sent away by Rendon.
Fans, please remember that Highmark Stadium is a family-friendly environment. We ask that you enjoy yourself, but also do so in a responsible way that's considerate of those around you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Won by Musa, but that will trickle out and Hounds will keep possession via throw. Including this one, it makes 2 of the remaining 3 games for the Riverhounds played on home soil. It's exactly what they would want with a little margin for error. This is given away. So Mertz trying to burn it in and straight into the waiting hand of Hunter Solt.
Robbie Mertz has done a good job for the Riverhounds at just sniffing out half opportunities and trying to get touches. Notice how he predicts where Ofemu is going to head this ball, but I love the aggressiveness. Second touch out of his body, just tries to test Hunter Solt, but straight at the goalkeeper. Get Robbie Mertz more influential for the Riverhounds, you can really find success going forward.
Williams slips and with him went the possession. Goes out for Zielinski. And that'll be offside against Lindor. Joey Zielinski, like Schaefer, player brought in on loan from an MLS team in order to get more minutes here in the USL Championship. In fact, all 3 of Schaefer, Zielinski, and Pruder have gotten significant minutes in the run-up to this. Now Solt is back. But Zielinski and Schaefer have become first-team options.
As a player, all you need is an opportunity to get real-time game minutes, and that's what the USL Championship has provided for Schaefer and Zielinski, and they've taken that opportunity with both hands and made their respective positionings their own.
Zielinski, an MLS rookie at the start of the year, had 7 appearances for St. Louis City, and saw his minutes dwindle, the club opting to send him away on loan to get some valuable experience. Second season on loan for Solt, over from Portland. Absolute standout last season. He's got 17 clean sheets in all competitions in his 2 seasons with Indy. It's felt a bit like a playoff game, hasn't it? Few chances, a lot of fight. Every inch has to be earned.
It's very cagey. No team the dominant one on it. Any clear-cut opportunities. 2 teams is still in the feeling out process. The first 28 minutes here.
In some ways, the playoffs have already started for Indy 11. They're on the wrong side of that postseason line. Knocked down expertly by Etu. Shades of Yaya Toure. Extend that long leg up into the air to bring it down. Here's Williams, strong on the ball. Lindley won't get there as Etu does. And that ball did roll over the line.
You just look at these two teams, how they're set up tactically and where the talent is. For Indy 11, you need to get on the ball centrally. Cam Lindley, James Murphy, Aiden Quinn, players like that that can pull the strings, allowing Rondon and Romari Williams to be aggressive at running in behind and getting on the end of service. We haven't seen that type of fluidity and rhythm for Sean McCauley's side.
Long throw incoming as we approach the 30-minute mark. Joey Zielinski picking out a target. Williams. Sent to the back post. It's Rendon who meets it. And the header off target, gathered up by Dick. And quickly out, looking for Mertz on the break. Cam Lindley alert to the danger, scrambled back in time.
It's great work from Cam Lindley. He's the one who puts the ball in and quickly understands he needs to drop off and do his defensive duties.
Trying to play it into space this time for Blake. And maybe some concern here for Rendon, who is slow to get up. One of 12 Cuban players who defected after that 2018 CONCACAF Under-20 Championship. 12.
We're giving you a chance to score a special 30% discount on all.
Just trying to hold up the play here. Rendon as he comes in, a bit awkward between him and Factor.
Only at tonight's match. Make sure to head over to the team store now.
Oh, how good he's been since coming into Indy 11 in the organization, up from League One when he scored big amount of goals, assists as well, can do a little bit of everything, can play in every single part of the field. A good signing for Sean McCauley in Indy 11.
And through Vactor. Sent away by Schaefer. Ball has spent a significant amount of time in the air as these two teams play long balls back and forth.
Specifically for the Riverhounds, they have found their best opportunities when the ball's on the deck and the ball's moving quick. You're getting Robbie Mertz influential. You're getting Charles All on the ball as well.
Idrash. Suber. Now Biasi on the near side. It's clever to whip the ball in, looking for Williams, and Williams whistled for the push on the back of Schaefer.
Rocky Williams needs to recognize this situation quicker. He needs to get ball side and goal side of his individual marker. As Idrash picks up, it said he has no one to play to. If he can come to feet, you play into Augie Williams, you drop it back into a Robbie Mertz, and then you have a third man running like a Luke Biasi. Just not enough fluidity for the Riverhounds.
Blasted out of the back by Solt. Zielinski. Throw from Ufemu is flicked on. Williams finds Rendon. Feels like the kind of game where the right player pouncing on a loose ball is going to make all the difference. Settled by Blake. Strong from Blake as he fights through the challenge of All. And it's a foul whistle against Blake.
The first 33 minutes of this game, that midfield battle is going to be crucial. If you can able to win that battle centrally, now you play this game on your terms and you dictate the tempo and the speed of which this game is being played at. It's just been back and forth, long ball after long ball. No real team getting in a rhythm.
Sean McCauley having a chat with the fourth official. Second season at the helm for Macaulay. What a fabulous first season it was. 4th in the Eastern Conference. Club best semi-final run to the US Open Cup. Taken back by Murphy. Zielinski in a bad spot is dispossessed. Now Mertz turning defense into attack. Skips past the challenge. Yetu. His progress impeded by Ofemu. It's another corner kick brought to you by Cohen Markets.
Just a relationship between Robbie Mertz and Junior Yetu, causing some issues for Indy 11 on that far side. Robbie Mertz continues to be aggressive, drawing in his individual marker, and that is when Yetu is at his best, getting in the final third and providing quality service.
John Bush, the goalkeeping coach of this Pittsburgh Riverhounds side, and the legendary goalkeeper in his own right. And swinger to the near post. Yossi looking to switch play. Sent in the wrong direction by the Indy defense, and Sultan's there to pounce on the loose ball. Here's Aiden Quinn. Williams appeals for handball, nothing given as he finds Quinn on the near side. Rendon making the run to the near post, and that'll lead to an Indy corner.
It's well done from Indy 11. Scanlonly picks up his head, plays it into Rendon. That allows Aiden Quinn to provide the width, but also provide an outlet going forward.
James Murphy swinging in, back post and slapped away by Eric Dick. That might have been sneaking in under the crossbar.
Really good ball in for Murphy, just trying to catch Eric Dick in no man's land. As the goalkeeper initially takes that step off of his line, does a good job at retreating and recovering to push it wide for yet another corner kick as Aiden Quinn stands over it.
Look out. Tippers flaring up inside of the 18. Eric Dick playing peacemaker. More fight than football. It's the kind of opening half we've had with 10 minutes remaining in the first half normal time.
Indy 11 is just trying to get as many bodies as they can around Eric Dick and trying to impede his ability to come up and collect this ball. So expect Aiden Quinn to try to locate this ball right between that 6-yard box and goalkeeper. The amount of bodies right there can cause some concern and cause some chaos for the Riverhounds.
Blake and Schaefer waiting at the near post. Williams there as well. Quinn delivers, and that's plucked out of the air by Eric Dick. Fortuitous bounce falls at the feet of All. Couldn't find Augie Williams. And it's in that final third where the connectivity has been missing for the Hounds.
Just not clean enough.
Udrach skinning ground here, trying to find Williams. Nearly goes all the way to Mert.
Just not clean enough for the Riverhounds. Doing a good job of getting themselves into that final third.
All laying it off. Sample in traffic, poked loose Augie Williams. Udrach has stayed forward in attack. He can afford to when there's 3 center backs. Robbie Mertz delivered into the 18. Augie Williams back post across the grain. And it's in for the opener. Pittsburgh breakthrough. Danny Griffin with a goal that just might punch their ticket to the playoffs. Only the second sight of goal the Hounds have had, and they convert.
Just fantastic decision-making and patience from Robbie Mertz. Notice to run, the underlapping run from Junior Etsu. As he pulls in Rondon, that allows Robbie Mertz to create that little bit of window. And the recognition and the prediction of Augie Williams to peel towards that far post, understanding there's going to be a little bit of a miscommunication between the two center backs of Indy 11. You put the ball back across where it came from, and the anticipation of Danny Griffin. Thank you very much. Easy finish of his quality. The Riverhounds take the lead here at Highmark Stadium.
His 184th appearance in all competitions for the Hounds. Missed only 2 league games since his debut back in 2020, and the Ironman strikes the opening goal for the Hounds.
His first of the season, number 9.
Talk about Sean McCauley and the inconsistencies for Indy 11. That ball needs to be cleared. That is a massive miscommunication between Ofemu and Schaefer. Someone needs to take the initiative and push it up and away.
That Pittsburgh goal is brought to you by Cohen Markets. Whipped in. Quinn fighting for possession. It's Aiden Quinn. Denied by Etu. Just getting in the way in time. Quinn had beaten the initial marking of Augie Williams. Delivered near post. Etu there to meet it. Turn the sender from Aiden Quinn. Here's Murphy. Corner kick brought to you by Cohen Markets. And the 11 in search of an equalizing goal. Whipped into the 6-1 Sports, punched away confidently by Eric Dick. Acrobatic from Quinn. Rondon trying to keep it in play, runs out of room. Etu. Swimming a long way back to collect. He's fouled by Musa. And this will give us a chance to take a look back. Idrach. A long switch of play. For the moment, Hall and Mertz have switched flanks.
Notice the amount of space now in this game as Indy 11 needs to come out of their shell and start to search a result. Space essentially will start to open up for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, so the positioning of All and Robbie Mertz can be really important going forward underneath Augie Williams. Just defensively needs to be better for Indy 11. Notice right side of your screen, Musa gets pulled in, and that allows this play to come into the back post. But Ofemu and Schaefer need to communicate better. Someone needs to clear this ball. No one takes the initiative, falls to Augie Williams, and you get punished against a Pittsburgh Riverhounds attacking unit.
85 goals now in the USL Championship. Looking for his 85th. So he put the ball back in. Crossing toward the spot. There's Augie Williams putting in a defensive shift as well. Aiden Quinn. Blake. Back post delivery. Mertz is there and taking no chances. Flicks it wide. Back into Zielinski. It's given away by Williams. Lindley leans on Murphy. Zielinski working hard to keep the ball in play. It comes off of him. Hey, Riverhounds fans, join us for our next home game on Saturday, October 25th against Phoenix Rising for Fan Appreciation Night. Get your tickets today at riverhounds.com. Sent away by Etu. Long ball out of the back by Schaefer. Intended for Quinn. Mertz for Augie Williams. Schaefer throwing his chest in the way that time. Here's Sample. Mertz spotted the run of Etu. Coming in behind, and Zielinski alerted the danger, plays it out for a throw.
Essentially now the Riverhounds are finding some more real estate to operate it. As Sample pushes high, Robbie Mertz comes centrally. You create an overload. Now you have 3 real options. You can play that little bit of a triangle, but also find Junior Etu, who's been really aggressive from his left wing back position as well.
Final minute of first half, normal time. This is good of a free kick opportunity as the Hounds have had in the course of this first half. They doubled the lead just before halftime. Mertz whips it in near post. Down back there was the intended target. Sent away by Zielinski. So 3 minutes added on, a minimum 3 minutes of stoppage time.
That's also our 11th Surfside splashdown of the season, brought to you by Surfside Vodka.
The 11, the only side that the Hounds have faced every season going back to 2018. 16 all-time meetings, 13 of those have been decided by a goal or less. This has every bit that feeling. Slack passes, one back is in the 11. Tried to strike on the counter, and Don was the intended target.
Just sloppy from both teams. For Indy 11, you do a good job at recovering this ball, but you need to connect that first pass.
Here's Augie Williams. Sample. Etu. Don scrambles back. Here's Mertz now wide, working against Zielinski. Space to deliver across, and Solt anticipates well. Seems a bit of role reversal as now it's Indy 11 playing those long balls. The back with Mario Williams.
Just having a difficult time, Sean McCauley and company, at finding the area that they can really break through this Riverhound side.
Not the only ones. Mertz able to keep his balance about him, and with it went the possession.
Especially when you play here at Highmark Stadium, where the Riverhounds are just so good at grinding out results. The tempo needs to be higher, the movement needs to become more prevalent, and the spacing needs to become more expansive to open up gaps. It's just been far too predictable, like you mentioned, just long ball after long ball for the last 10 minutes for Indy.
Final minute of time added on, the 3 minutes a minimum. It's clipped wide for Mertz. Ofemo was dragged out wide, Schaefer as well. Squeezing the cross, and Augie Williams, glancing header is over the bar.
Good movement from Augie Williams at the last second. Slashed it to get the goal side of this back line of Indy 11. And it's a difficult technique because James Moose is doing just enough to throw him off. As an attacking player, as this ball's coming in with that amount of pace, you do not need to generate power, just simply redirect it and try to find that far post. Great touch.
Williams bringing it down expertly. Tipped wide now for Zielinski. Don with his back to goal, not on the same page. A run that never came. Such a difficult place for opposition teams to come and play of the 10 wins that the Hounds came in with this season, 7 of them on home soil. Now 17 of their 28 goals. That will do for the opening 45, and it's all going Pittsburgh's way as they unlock the Indy 11 defense with Augie Williams picking out Danny Griffin for the opening goal.
For Rob Vincent, you have to be really pleased with what you've seen from the Riverhounds. Defensively, you've been really compact, very difficult to break down. You get your opening goal. Can you consistently find that in that second 45 minutes for Indy 11? The tempo, the movement, and the ruthlessness needs to be a notch higher if you have any hopes of ending on the other side of that playoff line. Big 45 coming up for the visiting side.
Well, the 38-minute strike for Danny Griffin, his 5th goal of the season, proving to be the difference. And for now, it's the one that would punch the Hounds' ticket to the postseason for the 8th season in a row. Halftime at Highmark, Pittsburgh 1, Indy 11-0.
The build. What is it that drives us to follow our dreams? To build them from scratch, from the heart. For us, it's the same ideals of hard work, craftsmanship, and unity that define our great nation. It begins with trusting in yourself and having a team behind you that believes any dream is possible, and that every project is a vision of what can be, of who you are, and the future that you continue to build. From our family to yours, 84 Lumber, where quality and pride come together, one dream at a time.
At AHN, good heart care starts before you're just not feeling right. Before you say, it'll go away on its own. Before it doesn't. Because before an emergency, there's time to stop heart problems with a simple preventative heart check. At AHN, we see you.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on a team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Welcome back. Tonight's halftime score is brought to you by 84 Lumber. 1-0 to the Hounds at the break, with Danny Griffin hitting the opener in the 38th minute. Augie Williams credited with the assist. Well, the road to pro soccer is fascinating and challenging, even more so for young goalkeepers hoping to live out their soccer dreams. Here's one such story as we check in on Pittsburgh native and Hounds shot stopper Ben Martino.
I'm Ben Martino and play for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. I did only the goalkeeper academy for a year in 2014, and then I officially joined the actual academy in 2015. At that age, you know, it was more about just falling in love with soccer, and a couple years of that transitioned into, you know, I was starting to become a lot better goalkeeper.
Benny was very consistent. Things that he needed to improve on, he would stay, do the extra work, but he was always mentally and physically prepared for anything that was kind of thrown in his direction.
You know, he came through our system, and that's what we want to continue to have. It just shows that we're doing the right things in our academy if all of a sudden now we have these kids training with the first team and then eventually signing with the first team. It just means that we're putting the work in at the lower levels. It gives the younger goalkeepers that are in our academy something to go, okay, they are looking in our academy. It's not like they're always going outside of the academy.
Maybe halfway, you know, towards the end of my time at the academy, I was being recruited by a lot of schools, and obviously that was a really big thing that RDA helped me with, was, you know, facilitating those connections with those schools, and they help you, you know, contact schools, write emails to schools, you know, help you get into ID camps. You know, they help me be very proactive with the whole college process, especially like even from the start of my freshman year.
You know, there's no magic formula for the pros. They do the same thing that the academy goalkeepers do. They just do it at a higher tempo and a more consistent tempo. So, you know, Benny is great with taking Ryan under his wing, putting his arm around him, talking to him about little things, you know, whether it's in the middle of a drill or whether it's just when they're having water, right? So it's one thing when I'm talking to Ryan or Dylan, but it's a whole nother thing also when the pros are taking that time, you know, makes Ryan feel even more invested by it, you know, into the system. And so if we can all just help each other out, then, you know, it's going to make for a great environment from top to bottom in the whole goalkeeping department.
If you're in the right environment and you're willing to give it your all and give it your best day in and day out, your dreams and your goals, anything is possible. And Benny, you know, he sets that. He proves that and validates that anything is possible as long as you're willing to put that work in.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. This is an exciting day for the South Shore. Please welcome the owner of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, Tuffy Schellenberger.
Today, we are announcing and going to show you the plans of the expanding our new stadium from 5,000 to 15,000. I'd like to bring the players up here to unveil the renderings of the new stadium. And you know, you have to win in Pittsburgh. I don't care what you do. We're not going to quit till we win the championship, and then we're not going to quit after that.
Back. It's what a hit! Here's Wilson. He stays out, and the Roots have a lead.
Whoa! Termites can eat a pound of wood a day. 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 What's wrong, Daddy? Daddy? You okay?
Keep termites out of your home and your head with our premium guarantee that covers up to $250,000 in new termite damage. Before panic shows up, Terminix it.
Wait, come back! Wait, come back, I need more help.
Take a load off and take a load for free.
Today we went to the beach and it was totally worth it. Get double points this fall at Best Western.
Welcome back to Highmark, where tonight's halftime score is brought to you by 84 Lumber. It was Danny Griffin who proved the difference in the first 45 minutes, finding the back of the net after 38 minutes to make it a goal to nil. News and notes from around the USL Championship. Hartford Athletic defeated Sacramento Republic in the USL Jägermeister Cup final to claim their first ever trophy. Meanwhile, USL Championship surpassing the 2 million fans mark in attendance this season after Lou City attracted nearly 10,000 for the Lipa FC derby against Indy 11, while Tampa Bay Rowdies forward Ruben Visayas earning his first call-up for the Haitian national team ahead of the 2026 World Cup. So here's a schedule around the USL Championship. A lot of playoff implications to be played out over the course of this weekend. Tulsa taking on San Antonio later tonight. Tulsa with a chance to clinch top 2 if they win that match. New Mexico already in the playoffs, but they can clinch top 4 with a win if El Paso drops points against Lexington, which they are at the moment, while Las Vegas and Oakland, who are holding up the table out in the West, Las Vegas could be eliminated if Colorado Springs wins or draws at Charleston, or if they fail to beat Oakland tonight in the nightcap, 10:30 Eastern on the East Coast. So here's some of the scores, many of these games in play at the halftime, where Rhode Island beating Tampa Bay Rowdies 3-0. That's a result that will interest in the 11 because they needed Rhode Island to lose and to win tonight in order to break back into the top 8.
What we've seen for Rhode Island in 2024, catching fire at the end of the season, trying to make that late playoff push. Hartford Athletic beating Sacramento, again a rematch of that Jägermeister Cup, but this time at home. And what about Loudoun United? Ryan Martin take a win at Detroit City, clinching a playoff berth for Loudoun United.
In dramatic fashion, 91st minute winner in that match. So at the break, it is Pittsburgh in front, a goal to nil. We'll step aside for a quick commercial timeout. Back right after this.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. This is an exciting day for the South Shore. Please welcome the owner of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, Tuffy Schellenberger.
Today, we are announcing and going to show you the plans of the expanding our new stadium from 5,000 to 15,000. I'd like to bring the players up here to unveil the renderings of the new stadium. And you know, you have to win in Pittsburgh. I don't care what you do. We're not going to quit till we win a championship, and then we're not going to quit after that.
Hi, I'm Dustin.
I'm Kim. And I'm Grace.
And we're Dustin Buys Houses.
My parents buy houses for cash.
With a call to make in the Pittsburgh area.
To sell your as-is property fast.
We buy fixer-uppers, foreclosures, rented or vacant.
Or a nicer home you just need out of. We buy them all.
Plus, you don't pay any fees. Takes just a few minutes on the phone.
To see if our family can help yours.
Call 412-615-0000.
Into halftime, 1-0 up.
Fifth goal of the season for Danny Griffin is 15th in a Hounds shirt in the regular season. Here's a look at the numbers from the first half. fairly even in the passage of play.
For Indy 11, the tempo needs to be higher. Yes, you have 43% of the possession, but you need your possession a little bit higher, a little bit more decisive and ruthlessness for Sean McCauley. So the first 5 minutes, getting players higher up the field, gaining some real estate, and then for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, if you can get that second goal early rather than later, you put this game to bed.
Tonight's halftime highlights were presented by Corona. So second half about to get underway. It's Pittsburgh moving from right to left on your screen, up a goal to nil. Credit to Danny Griffin. Oh, when scoring the opening goal this season, Pittsburgh 10 wins and 3 losses on the campaign. For Indy, just 2 victories after conceding first. They have their work cut out for them as they look to get back above the playoff line. It's flicked away by Ofemu. And you're right to point out that was a rare miscue between Schaefer and Ofemu, who have formed a good partnership at the back for Indy 11. They've been the preferred tandem after the injury to Hogan ended his season. But that one breakdown cost him dearly in the first 45.
Especially with the experience of Ofemu and Schaefer, the ability to understand when you need to take the initiative and make a play. That is just miscommunication. That has to be frustrating for Sean McCauley, because through that first 45 minutes, you didn't get played off the park. You didn't concede any real big-time opportunities. It was just one little mistake. And when you talk about playing into the playoffs or ending your season at the end of the regular season, it's those little minute details that you need to clean up for Indy 11.
One by Ofemu. Here's Blake. Rendon. Blake started strong, faded away in the course of that first 45 minutes, and he's crucial to the way Indy 11 play.
You're Sean McCauley, you're telling Jack Blake just to stay off the shoulder of Sample.
Got the shot off the volley from Aiden Quinn as well off target.
And Danny Griffin, because that gives Indy 11 a pocket presence, the ability to progress the ball in between lines, and that gives also Aiden Quinn the freedom to go and search the game with that wand of a left foot, the ability to come centrally, almost play as dual 10s underneath Rendon and Augie Williams.
In the course of that first 45 minutes, Robbie Mertz, a game-high 42 touches, and that is exactly what Pittsburgh would want.
It's a player that you want on the ball, Robbie Mertz. Ability to combine, beat his individual marker, 1v1, provide real good quality service. He was a big addition back into the lineup for the Riverhounds.
Williams chasing it down. It's nodded back for Eric Dick. Working on what would be his 10th clean sheet of the season. It's only 2 behind Hunter Gilstrap for a second all-time for the Hounds. Ofemu dealing well with Augie Williams that time. This is settled by Cam Lindley. Now Blake. Played behind Zielinski, and possession short circuits for Indy 11. Junior Etu plenty involved as well in that first half. Him and Mertz on the far side. Now on this near side. Lindley getting in the way of it. Skips past the challenge of Etu. Schaefer. Drive sends it away. Confident touch from Mertz. Here's All working against Musa. Squeezes the cross in. It's overcooked for Augie Williams. Good movement that time from Williams.
Good recognition of space. As Robbie Mertz slashes towards that near post, Augie Williams pulls out to that second stick, just a little bit too heavy from Charles All. Good action for the Riverhounds in terms of the spacing and balance going forward.
Not that lightning strikes twice, but Pittsburgh found themselves in a situation last week where they were up a goal to nil against Miami. Gave up 3 second-half goals unanswered. The first time in over 60 matches. Don't expect a repeat on home soil.
And that's going to be communicated at halftime from Rob Vincent, saying we cannot have what happened last week here at home when we're trying to solidify a playoff position.
Second play through Lindley. Ofemu. It's Brian Schaefer. Just beyond the reach of Quinn. Edrach was there. He's quick to find Griffin, the goal scorer. Robbie Mertz. It's a release the hound situation with Robbie Mertz, who didn't get a chance to play last week, and he was ready to go this time out. Sample. Good switch of play to find Williams isolated near side as he pulls Zielinski out. Etu driving into the 18. Lindley in the way is still Etu, and Ofemu stops his progress. Williams, first time cross. Edrach. Griffin with his back to goal had Mertz, chose not to use him. Oh. Getting it back from Biasial, squeezing his cross in. It's over the head of Williams. Better start to the second half from Pittsburgh, buoyed by that opening goal.
A lot more composed. The Riverhounds team, the ball moving a bit quicker, but the patience as well in terms of the decision making once they do get to that final third.
It's won by Blake. Indy looking up and finding the run of Rondon. Plenty of numbers back to deal with the threat. Hey, Riverhounds fans, join us for our next home game on Saturday, October 25th against Phoenix Rising for Fan Appreciation Night. Get your tickets today at riverhounds.com. A little bit of a limp as well from Rendon, who's walking away from that. Mertz favoring that left ankle. Recap, the math is simple for the Hounds. If they win, they punch their ticket to the playoffs. A little more complicated for Indy 11, who need two things to go their way. Pick up all 3 points tonight and have Rhode Island lose to Tampa Bay. Well, that one's going a bit sideways. A 3-0 advantage for Rhode Island. And then that would only be enough to get them just above the playoff line going into the final 2 games of the season against newly clinched Loudoun United next week. And then at Orange County, who could be fighting for their lives as well as Augie Williams just over the bar.
The argument for Indy 11 saying that Cam Lindley just got called for a foul, very similar that Augie Williams does. Notice how you almost undercut Schaefer here, not allowing him to jump up and attack this ball. Audacious to let this ball bounce from Augie Williams and use his least preferred, but notice how he strikes underneath it, trying to get that dipping motion.
Knocked down for Etu. Accelerating past Blake. Mertz near side with space and time to consider his options. Cross is whipped in. Schaefer able to get it away. Quinn does.
Talked about the relationship between Etu and Robbie Mertz. Just understand each other extremely well.
That's not cleared by Lindley. Blake was undercut and kept in by Lindley. Ofemu. Biasi out wide. Etu. It's well anticipated that time by Cam Lindley. In possession back for Indy 11, but it was short-lived. Here's Blake. Williams laying it off. A little static in attack though from Indy 11. No options for Blake.
Just not enough movement for the visiting side. Every single player wants the ball to feed. Every single player's ball watching.
And meanwhile, back the other way comes Charles All. Griffin. Expertly won back by Biasi. Short pitch to counter. Even the referee's getting a touch. Mertz picking up a more central position. All taking the scenic route, trying to get around his marker. It's expertly done by Quinn. Sometimes forget he's a right back. And the foul is whistled here against Suber. Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on TUDN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Charleston Battery taking on Birmingham Legion on Saturday, October 25th, 5 p.m. Eastern on TUDN. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings.
Just no vertical threat for Indy 11. Rendon and Romario Williams both want the ball to feet, which is in front of this back three for the Riverhounds, making life extremely comfortable for the defensive set for Rob Vincent.
Well, a week ago in the Liverpool FC rivalry with Lou City, Elvis Amo coming off the bench to provide a spark. Didn't get on the score sheet, but created plenty of danger. They also have Edward Chiza available.
Two different type of profiles. Chiza's more of a slasher. Amo, big body that you can play into, have runners off of him. But just the relationship between Romario Williams and Bruno Rendon has not been fruitful whatsoever for Sean McCauley.
The extended arm of Augie Williams. Chiza was the Hounds' top scorer a season ago with 12. Hasn't really replicated that success at Indy 11 yet. Ed 2 there to take it back for the Hounds.
And just right side of your screen, notice the amount of red jerseys just standing still, wanting the ball to feet. No one's pulling a player out of position to open up space for a teammate. Very pedestrian-like to start this second half for Indy 11.
There's Blake. And behind Rendon. One of the things that Sean McCauley told us about last week's match is fatigue seemed to set in that second half. And tired legs maybe played a part. Here's Ed 2. Brilliant to get past his marker. Dragged in and at the near post. Augie Williams denied.
Great recognition of space from Etu. Notice how he continues his run and uses momentum to his favor as he takes that long touch. Zelinski gets balled in, and really good positioning from Augie Williams, trying to get to that near post area, but even better recovery and positioning from Hunter Solt and Schaefer to deny the Riverhounds their second.
Here's a corner brought to you by Cohen Markets. Mertz delivers into the 6. Schaefer, who got a touch on it. He rolls all the way out the other side for Augie Williams. Knocked down by Williams. Goal bound, parried by Solt. And he'll get another corner kick out of it.
Great strike from Bradley Sample as this ball pops out left side of your screen. Notice how he is the first to react. And notice how he gets his hips around extremely quick. Tags this ball, hits it very clean. That is a good save from Hunter Soltwin, especially with the amount of traffic in front of him as he parries it wide, not allowing a rebound.
Hasn't shown much rust after missing the last 4 games. Hunter Solt. Mertz whipped in, Solt off his line, punched it away confidently. And that one gets away from Charles All. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the academy to the big leagues, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. For For the moment, it's one-way traffic. All Pittsburgh. Griffin slipped in between the lines brilliantly, looking for the second. It's denied by Solt.
Just too much space, essentially, for the Riverhounds just to operate in. Danny Griffin, Charles Hall, Robbie Mertz coming essentially underneath Augie Williams. Notice just how long it takes for an Indy 11 player to engage with Charles Hall. An instinctual toe poke, trying to wrong foot Hunter Solt, who again, really good save.
Mertz delivers, outswinger, edge of the 6. It's headed away by Williams. Etu trying to send that back into the danger area and harmlessly out for a goal kick. Something you talked about in the first half, Ricky, the isolation we saw of Augie Williams. Didn't really have too many options around him. Second half, really since the goal, completely different for Pittsburgh. With, as you mentioned, Mertz, all Griffin, all just outside of the 18, and Williams such a handful drawing double and triple teams. It does free up some of those attacking midfield players.
Just more fluidity for Rob Vincent and the Riverhounds, understanding as Indy 11 is pushing higher, those spaces start to open up. And if you can become centrally, now you create an overload centrally, you have more options to play into, ultimately allowing the wide parts of the field for Luke Biasi and Etu to be expansive and aggressive. So the second half sets up extremely well for Rob Vincent, trying to get that second goal and apply real pressure on Indy 11.
And the 11 changes incoming. We're going to see the introduction of Edward Chiza, Oliver Bernaeus, and Hayden White checking in a triple substitution for Sean McCauley. So James Murphy makes way as Bernaeus steps in, and Joey Zielinski will be replaced like for like by Hayden White on the right side of that back four.
Number 71, Joey Zielinski, and number 14, Aiden Quinn. Now in for the 11, number 21.
Aiden Quinn has also exited the game as the former Hound, Edward Chiza, is into the contest.
And number 19, Edward Chiza.
Triple change with just under half an hour remaining of normal time.
It's going to change things tactically for Indy 11 now, shifting into a 3-back system, allowing White and Rondon to be the two outside backs, creating overloads. Chiza's going to put right next to Romario Williams. So now you have two relationships starting to form on the top line for Indy.
Lindley outswinger, dealt with by Suber. This has been the case all season long. No one has more clearances in the USL Championship this year. Last year that brings down Charles All. He's gone against Lindley in the 11.
A little bit of confusion from Cam Lindley. It's a foul. No question whatsoever, impeding the run of Charles All. Deserving of a yellow card, denying a transitional moment for the Riverhounds.
First yellow shown to an Indy 11 player, and a third yellow of the season for Cam Lindley. Second yellow shown to an Indy 11 player was back in the 17th minute. Brian Schaefer, who was also booked. Managed the game very well since breaking the deadlock late in the opening half. Pittsburgh.
Stick around and meet the team presented by King Orthodontics. Pittsburgh's most confident smiles with locations in Wexford and Bridgeville. Visit them at kingorthodontics.com.
Looking for Williams, well anticipated that time by Ofemu.
Also with the subs for Indy 11, Jack Blake's going to play a little bit deeper, right next to Murphy and Cam Lindley, allowing Chiza to almost play as a false number 10. So expect runs out of midfield from the sub, Edward Chiza.
Chiza, who had initially joined Pittsburgh on loan from the New England Revolution before making that move permanent. Delivered near post. That was a rare approach to Eric Dick's goal in the second half for Indy 11. Chested down by Schaefer. It's floated into the box by Jack Blake. Bernays. That's catapulted toward the back post for the one of Rendon, another Williams.
Decision making is everything for a goalkeeper. As Eric Dick elects to come off of his line, he needs to make a play on this ball. Not convincing whatsoever, but gets the job done. And again, comes up a bit awkward, giving that left leg of his, Eric Dick.
It was the fresh legs of Hayden White. Sprinted to that back post. There's Mertz between the lines. Sample.
Just notice the amount of space, essentially, for the Riverhounds. Becoming a little bit stretched in the 11 as that front line is going. That midfield line is staying about 10 to 15 yards behind. And that is why we start to see Charles Dahl, Robbie Mertz become more influential, more time and space to operate in.
Fans join us on October 25th for our final home match. That's 2 weeks from tonight as the Riverhounds battle the Phoenix Rising. That's Fan Appreciation Day with incredible prizes.
Biasi looking for options. Schaefer draws the foul, but wanted to play to continue. Bernays was trying to pounce on the loose ball. Schaefer in a battle with Williams and gets the better of him. Here's Blake. Switch of play to Rendon, looking to stretch the Pittsburgh defense. Blake, first time effort, curled in toward the back post. And that's confidently collected by Eric Dick.
This action in the second half from Indy 11, it starts with Jack Blake's ability to change a point of attack and also to continue his run. Good ball in, good positioning in the end from the Riverhounds back line. If you can get Jack Blake pulling the strings, you can really ask some questions of this Riverhounds offensive unit.
Here's Williams. Not allowed to turn as Blake getting in his way. And that's turned over to Chiza. Now Blake pulling the strings. Rendon on the near side. Chiza continues his run, looking for the angle. And Super stayed with him stride for stride.
The Hounds hit the road next week to take
Not just difficult at home, not just hard to break down defensively, but hard to keep down as well, because the last 5 times that Pittsburgh had lost the match, they came back in 4 of those to win it. And coming off that Miami defeat in which they felt an opportunity went by, they've responded brilliantly tonight on home soil.
What we've come to expect for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they're going to be very solid defensively. They're going to be difficult to break through. But every single time they draw points, they show a reaction. They show personality. And it's the collection of the parts is always bigger than individuals. This team has bought in. They have an identity. And that is why they continue to be in the playoffs year after year.
What a touch that was from Williams to win it. Biasi trying to get around Bernays. Switch of play to Etu on the near side. It was Rendon who dealt with the change of play well.
Tupelo Honey, our neighbors in Station Square. Tupelo Honey is known for their superior southern hospitality and welcoming atmosphere. They serve scratch-made and responsibly sourced Southern food for every meal. You can join them during happy hour every Monday.
It'll roll out. Well, if you can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and plenty more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Headed down by Ofemu. Bernays. Now Blake. Rendon out wide. Blake continuing his run.
Back-to-back action. That Super's done a really good job at reading the run from a deeper lying position and coming across and doing his defensive duties extremely well.
Long throw by White. Schaefer trying to flick it on. It falls for Romario Williams. Here's Jack Blake, clattered into. Bernays. The 11 forcing Pittsburgh to defend a little deeper now. Long switch looking for Rendon and two. Mertz putting it back into the middle. Williams. And now a chance to break is Williams on the near side. Schaefer reacted well and all kinds of turned around but found the ball. Romario Williams now. They are growing into the contest now in the 11. Still these attempted passes blocked by Mertz, who immediately goes to ground. So as Mertz needs some attention, we're going to see a double substitution for the Hounds. Brent Barnes and Jackson Walty are getting ready to check in.
Trey, you just mentioned the new 11 starting to grow into this game, and it comes with a tactical change for Sean McCauley. As you go into wingbacks, now you have real responsibilities on the wide parts of the field, which gives more time and space centrally. As Jack Blake has the ability to pick up his head, he has options. Essentially, he can spray the ball wide, and you have two real options now, understanding as Chisel will make those runs underneath, Romario Williams will be the target.
So Barnes is in for Junior Eto. And it is Robbie Mertz, who was just shaken up on that last possession, who will exit the game. And he is replaced by Jackson Walty.
Good shift for Robbie Mertz, really influential and very involved in the attacking phase of play for the Riverhounds. As Sample comes in, or excuse me, Walty comes in. Now Bradley Sample is going to push a line higher and play next to Charles Zoll as dual 10s. And you get defensive structure with Jackson Walty right next to Danny Griffin.
Long throw in by Hayden White. Flicked on toward the back post. The header goal bound. And no trouble for Eric Dick. Bradley Sample goes to ground.
Fans stay after the match tonight for a spectacular fireworks show. Remain in your seats as we light up the Pittsburgh sky to celebrate every warrior fighting cancer in every...
eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. You can download it now.
The field will open up for the King Orthodontics autograph session.
For as well as Pittsburgh have managed this game, it is still a fragile lead at just a goal to nil. They always have been close meetings when these two sides do face off. And there's a quarter of an hour remaining in it. For now, the result clinches Pittsburgh's spot in the postseason. Williams. Griffin. Spiassi sprinting down that far flank. And it'll lead to a Hounds corner.
Starts with a good decision of Danny Griffin not to force the ball in. Retain possession, find the open pass. More importantly, he drains some clock now when a really dangerous corner kick again as Bradley Sample stands over it.
Well, whatever firepower they had on the bench, they are unleashing now into this match. Elvis Amo is in. That's goal bound, and it won't matter as they double the lead. The Hounds strike again with a quarter of an hour to play. Sean Suber, what a time to pick out his first championship goal of the season. And surely now, the Hounds have punched their ticket to the postseason.
Every decision matters for the Riverhounds. Danny Griffin does not force the issue, retains possession. You win a set piece over it, and a really good ball in with the amount of pace and the whippage from Sampa, allowing Suber just to beat his individual marker to the spot. Wanted that much more than James Musa, and notice the snap over his left shoulder. Redirection to this far post, no chance for Hunter Salt. And a little bit of breathing room here for the Riverhounds. Great goal from the center back.
Another quarter of an hour to play, an insurance goal for the Hounds. Just as in the 11, we're bringing on more attacking power and starting to grow into the contest.
Also, we have a substitution for Indy 11. Coming out was number 9, Romario.
The Pittsburgh goal is brought to you by Cohen Markets.
Number 22, Elvis Amo.
So Amo is on, replacing Romario Williams. Chiza, Amo, and Bruno Rendon. The attacking trio now for Indy 11.
You just look at the goals that Indy 11 has conceded. In this game specifically, one, it's a miscommunication in the back. Danny Griffin gets on the end of service from Augie Williams, and now that's just not X and O's, that's not tactics, that's just pure want. You versus me to win your individual duels. And that is why we've seen Sean McCauley be extremely frustrated with this Indy 11 side. They have the talent, but the execution in both boxes has been lacking in 2025.
Here's Augie Williams, poked loose by Schaefer. 2 shots on target, 2 goals for the Hounds.
If you're Rob Vincent, you take it, you're efficient, especially here at Highmark. It has to be extremely frustrating and disappointing for Sean McCauley, the 2 goals that you've conceded here through the 78 minutes that we've played.
Schaefer. Williams closing down. Fame was just able to find Hayden White. Clipped forward for Chiza. Nothing has come easy for Indy 11, particularly since an opening goal late in the opening half.
As Indy 11 is trying to search this result, I expect them to play a bit more direct. So in doing that, second balls become that much more important. Bradley Sample, Jackson Walton, Danny Griffin need to understand once their ball gets by you, your job is not done. You have to drop down and do your defensive duties.
It's Barnes who knocks that back into the middle. Challenging everything in the air, Barnes. Griffin. Proctor. Did well to find Barnes on this near side. The ball movement from Pittsburgh. It's Augie Williams now with his back to goal. Semple. Biasi against Bernays. Charles All has Duke Musa chasing. If it doesn't quite come off as Schaefer is there to intercept. Not a bad idea from Griffin. Bernays into the 18, and confidently Eric Dick comes out to make himself big. The fresher of the two teams. Pittsburgh, the 11 do tend to keep a short squad. Had to call on 3 loanees from Major League Soccer clubs. Come on, not just fill out the roster, but fill out the starting 11. And this late in the season, maybe those tired legs are starting to show.
Just looking at the possession as well, 55% has been in favor of the Riverhounds, meaning that Indy 11 has chased more in this game. Ability to cover ground, so especially here at home.
Chance from the heart of the area, Chiza in his old stomping grounds. Blake finds White. Here's Jack Blake. So the 11 trying to cut into the deficit. It's a good ball in. And a weak header from Rendon, who's disappointed.
Frustrated from Rendon. It's the first time that we've seen him get in behind. It's good ball circulation between Jack Blake and Cam Lindley. But this ball needs to be headed right on top of that 6-yard box because you have Ellis Almo and acres of space solo. And that is why the frustration is on display from Rendon.
Blake. Just beyond the reach of Almo, who couldn't bring it down. And squeeze every last second off of the clock. The Hounds. Hey, Riverhounds fans, join us for our next home game on Saturday, October 25th against Phoenix Rising for Fan Appreciation Night. Get your tickets today at riverhounds.com. Should be a fun season finale on the 25th. And maybe a less stressful one now for Pittsburgh as they're just moments away from clinching a postseason berth. So Burton Jackerson will be checking in. Augie Williams expected to come out. Josh O'Brien is in for Indy 11. He replaces Ben Ofemu. Solid outing for Augie Williams.
The work rate for Augie Williams never in question. Continuing to hunt down every 50-50 duel, throw his bodies around, but also very comfortable with the ball at his feet. Another good performance for Augie Williams. Bertrand Jacquesin, a different look, leading the line for the Riverhounds. More of a player that wants the ball to feet, of a slasher. You can get him up the rhythm. Now you have two good attacking units.
Crossed in by Rendon. Chiza trying to bring it down. It rolls out to Blake. Musa. Hopefully back here to find Lindley. It's whipped in toward the 6, and once again, Eric Dick is there to collect. All substitutions exhausted for Sean McCauley in Indy 11. 3 windows used up. Here's O'Brien. As it stands, Indy 11 will be below the playoff line for another week. A couple of games remaining on the schedule. This is clipped into the heart of the area by White. Now Blake. We'll get Loudoun at home next weekend and away to Orange County SC for the regular season finale on the 25th. Orange County could be fighting for their playoff lives in that game as well. Switch of play, it's driven in, deflected, and harmlessly bounces wide. Over Samuel to be closest to it.
Good little bit of interplay from Indy 11. You draw out about 3 Riverhounds to that side of the field, so now you allow Shizup, Rendon, Amo to be really expansive and aggressive in their positioning. Almost a bit of a flick on header towards that far post. Send Derek Dick scrambling to provide a bit of coverage.
That was gone against Indy 11. Amo, the guilty party. Only 5 minutes remain. And it was a shaky start, should be said, for Pittsburgh. First 20 minutes or so. Struggled to connect, especially in the final third. It's a calming influence of that opening goal late in the first half. It's been a different game since. Blake's here to win it. Rendon. And Rendon took the worst of it. It's going to be a yellow card shown to Bryn Barnes.
Yellow card against the Riverhounds, number 3, Perrin Barnes.
Not a lot in that whatsoever. As Barnes makes contact with the ball, Rendon starts swinging, and he makes the most of it, forcing Mohamed Kalea to flash yellow to the Riverhound sub.
Well, Ilal Osumanu will be replacing Luke Biasi. And we'll see the introduction of Brigham Larson. He takes over from Charles All.
And now in number 17, Brigham Larson.
Here's White. The thing we have seen from Indy 11 is they have fought to the end in difficult matches, particularly last week in the rivalry against Blue City. Schaefer flicking it on. Blake on the volley at the back post, and they've pulled one back. Musa popping up to half the deficit. Case in point.
Just the advantage of having a long throw puts pressure on the opposition. It's not the initial phase that can cause some issues. It's a popped out ball. As this ball comes in, Jack Blake doing a good job to hit it first time, and this is flawless timing from James Musa. Left side of your screen, he's onside. Once Jack Blake makes contact with this ball, that's when he releases and gets in behind the line of the Riverhounds. Bit of life here for the visiting side at Highmark Stadium.
Game on. Second goal of the season for James Musa, and it breathes new life into Indy 11. Musa is fired up. You saw there wasn't much of a goal celebration. It was more, one more. He had one more goal, he was telling his teammates.
Sets up for an intriguing 2+ stoppage time remaining here at Highmark Stadium. Expect Indy 11 to throw everything going forward to play direct Route 1. So winning your individual duels again become that much more important for both sides.
Back in through Barnes. Blake trying to win it back. It'll be Riverhounds ball on a throw. Been impressed with how often Jack Blake is fighting to win back possession, not just a flair player, not just a creator, fighting hard to win possession. Schaefer throwing himself in the way of the shot. Here's Blake once more. Amo. Rendon has to sprint to get there, and he'll run out of real estate. Final minute of normal time ticks away. Eric Dick and the Hounds in no rush to get things back underway. Five minutes added on, a minimum 5 minutes.
That's an extra 5 minutes.
Here's Musa. Blake, again there to win it for Indy 11. How often has he done that in this match?
Talk about a leader in terms of his quality, but by example and effort as well. Play both sides of the ball, cover every single blade of turf here at Highmark Stadium. He's been a standout player for Indy 11.
Another long throw incoming from Hayden White. Look at the near poster. Schaefer trying to flick it on. Leads to a goal kick in the end.
Seems like the argument is Hayden White steps over the line when he throws the ball in.
Man, that's been given as a foul throw. There's a rarity.
A lot of confusion for Indy 11. Every single player looking at the side referee.
Jeremy Smith is the referee's assistant on the near side. Amo challenging in the air. There's O'Brien. A bit of a slack pass, and it's taken back by the fresh legs of Jacqueson. Driving in Musa. Looking for options to arrive. Jacqueson takes it himself. No trouble for Solt. He was quick to get it away. Lindley, head on a swivel. It's a poor pass back from Amo. Built up by a slight deflection. It'll stay in the 11 ball. Switch looking for White. O'Brien. Rendon, deflection keeps that in play. And that'll ricochet off of White. It'll be a Pittsburgh throw. They'll try and squeeze a little air out of the ball. Schaefer is lifted into the edge of the area. Larson is dispossessed as Blake has taken it back, turning defense into attack. Clipped into the 18. Fighting for it was Bernaeus, and they'll get a corner kick out of it. There's still life in this in the 11 side.
Good idea from Jack Blake just to try to find Amo, who peels off. You have this back line of Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Dangerous set piece for Cam Lilly and Indy 11.
Near post, there's Eric Dick out to meet it. And it'll be a goal kick. Indy 11 players adamant it was last touched by Pittsburgh. From the reaction, may have been Suber who got a touch here. Well, it did come off of Chiza. Halfway through the minimum 5 minutes added on. Credit to Indy 11, they've managed to make a game of it, but there are no moral victories this late in the season with a playoff push on the line. Last touch by White, that'll be a throw for the Hounds. Tick through the final minute of 5 added on. for scrambling back, and we're just happy to have that ball as far away from their goal as possible. Raffled forward by Solt. Here's Schaefer. Maybe time for one final approach from Indy 11. Rendon. Catapulted out of the back by Solt. Jacquesson did well to get away from Musa. And there is your final whistle. The postseason in the Eastern Conference gets a bit more crowded as Pittsburgh punched their ticket to the playoffs for the 8th consecutive season. Danny Griffin's goal in the 38th minute opened the scoring. And Sean Suber picks out his first of the season to double the lead. Plenty of fight in Indy 11 as they battle back to half the deficit, but they fall short despite Musa's goal. It's 2-1 Pittsburgh in the end.
Better of the side for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. For Indy 11, you did a good job of getting yourself into that final third, but just not enough fight. Ultimately, you drop more points on the road, but the Pittsburgh Riverhounds see in the 2025 postseason USL Championship.
Tonight's man of the match is presented by Modelo, and it goes to Danny Griffin.
Danny Griffin did a little bit of everything. Yes, he scores the opening goal, but his performance was well beyond that. Ability to cover ground, to break up plays, win his individual battles, but also connect the game and continue to move it. Another standout performance for Danny Griffin, the heart of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
So after the 90 minutes, Pittsburgh have clinched a ticket to the Eastern Conference playoffs, 2-1 over Indy 11. Indy had their work cut out for them the last 2 games of the season. We'll step aside for a quick commercial break and back to wrap it up after this. Hounds 2, Indy 1. Final score.
Tip the scales. More life, less work. That's balance.
Clock out and step onto scenic hiking trails where colorful views guide the way. Experience fall in Pennsylvania's Laurel Highlands the way it was meant to be. Bold, beautiful, and breathtaking. Find your adventure or kick back and relax. Your work will be waiting when you get back. It's all about balance. Make fall happen at GoLaurelHighlands.com.
Welcome back. A decisive Saturday night across the USL Championship, and Pittsburgh Riverhounds make the most of it as they win 2-1 over Indy 11. Let's take a look back at the highlights tonight. Smooth save of the game is presented by Smoothie King. Rule the day.
It's a really good save from Eric Dick. Probably the best opportunity going back for Indy 11, but notice how quickly he gets down to his left-hand side to make himself big. Athletic recognition of space. A big-time performance for Eric Dick. Yet again, the stalwart for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds between the sticks.
Full-time highlights presented by Corona. 38th minute, Danny Griffin breaks the deadlock after a breakdown in communication. So 6 points still up for grabs for Indy 11 in the final 2 games of the season, and it's crowded in the playoffs now with the top 6 have all punched their ticket. Loudoun United, Pittsburgh, and Hartford all joining the party tonight. Blue City and Charleston Battery were already in. So too was North Carolina last weekend, and that leaves 4 teams fighting for the 2 remaining spots in the Eastern Conference. Rhode Island and Detroit City have the inside track. Indy 11 and Tampa Bay Rowdies on the bubble, but on the outside looking in. Birmingham Legion and Miami have been eliminated. For producer Gabe Sosa and Ricky Lopez, Espin, I'm Dre Cordero. Thanks for joining us. The final score, Pitt Riverhounds 2, Indy 11 1.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.